You are reading By the Ballot, a Substack from the New South's new generation of Democrats, where we talk about stances, tactics, and news from the left. My name is Matt Royer.
You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
It's a great question, and Aaron Sorkin wrote it into the newsroom over a decade ago. Why do liberals seem so convinced of their intellectual and moral superiority, yet completely unwilling to do the hard, risky work to win? This year, in the early days of Trump's second term, the failure was especially stark. We already saw what Trump and his movement were capable of on January 6, 2021. We knew their goals. They laid them out plainly in Project 2025. So why did Democratic leaders on Capitol Hill seem surprised when Trump and Musk started doing exactly what they said they'd do? When Trump and Elon Musk initiated the Doge cuts and thousands of federal workers lost their jobs, Democrats had a political opening. They started holding rallies outside federal buildings to raise awareness. But what was the actual plan to stop it? Many Senate Democrats still voted to confirm Trump's appointments, leverage that could have been used to block nominees until the Doge cuts stopped. Instead, Senate leader Chuck Schumer stood outside chanting, "We will win." No one doubted our intentions. What we questioned was, what are you actually going to do about it? And the sad truth is, it seemed like they didn't know. Yes, this is a new political reality, but even if you don't have the answers, leadership is about projecting strength, especially in uncertain times. On February 4th, a group of members of Congress protested outside the Treasury Department over Doge potentially gaining access to the payment systems and Americans' social security numbers. Rep. Maxwell Frost posted a video of the moment, which ended like this.
What do we need?
There was no clarity, no coordination, just vibes. Eventually, Democratic leadership settled on a response, a strongly worded letter. No teeth, no consequences, just words. There were bright spots. Senator Cory Booker set a record filibuster, 25 hours and 5 minutes, surpassing Strom Thurmond, to protest the Trump administration's agenda. Senator Chris Van Hollen flew to El Salvador to locate one of his own constituents, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was deported and detained without due process. Senator Alex Padilla was violently tackled and handcuffed confronting Secretary Noem, while other members of Congress got arrested confronting ICE. They demanded entry into detention facilities as federal law allows. That's the kind of boldness our base wants to see. That's what it means to fight. But what was our grand plan for a follow-up? Fucking tacos. Fucking tortillas with meat, cheese, lettuce, salsa in them. Tacos. Literal tacos. When Democrats rebranded Trump Always Chickens Out into the acronym TACO, Schumer rolled out a taco cart as a cutesy PR stunt. What are we doing? One big beautiful bill, one big fucking mess. These stunts might get attention, but they don't move people. Not anymore. This isn't 2017. Clever bill names and tongue-in-cheek acronyms don't work when Republicans are systematically gutting Medicaid, slashing SNAP, and pushing mass deportations of undocumented and naturalized citizens. And let's talk about the budget reconciliation bill. Trump and MAGA allies literally branded it one big beautiful bill. So what did Chuck Schumer do with his power as minority leader? He renamed it the Big Ugly Bill. That's it. Sick burn, Chuck. You just erased all of the fingerprints that the MAGA sect of the party had put on that bill and didn't do anything to stop it, and it still passed. Democrats used to fight harder. Harry Reid would twist arms, cut deals, and do whatever it took to deliver for working people. Now we act like the strong leadership is somehow impolite. And that brings me to my original question.
If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
We blame the voters, we blame the misinformation, we blame apathy. But what if the real problem is us? Too many in our party spend more time courting celebrities than connecting with voters. We confuse cleverness for courage. We write speeches about fighting fascism, but fold the second we might upset a donor or lose a polling point. While we wag fingers on Sunday talk shows and subtweet the GOP like it's high school, Republicans bulldoze our rights and institutions without shame. We don't talk like real people anymore. We say things like defend democracy or combat fascism, but most voters just want to know, can I afford groceries? Will my kids be safe at school? Is my rent going to skyrocket? And speaking of fighting to save democracy, not to sound too Mandy Patinkin, but
you keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
I'm starting to think that that phrase doesn't mean what many people think it means. In the past few years, this has been a line that everyone says. In the latest primary for the special election in Virginia's 11th congressional district, almost every single candidate out of the 11th candidate field said that saving democracy was somewhere in their day one agenda. But what does that mean? Recently, the fight to save democracy has just been those sternly worded letters that I referenced earlier. And you know what? The Republicans just don't care. They continue to do what they wanted to do shamelessly while we bend over backwards to make sure everyone is happy and everyone likes us because of our desperate need to feel wanted because we have only had 2 Democratic presidents who have been reelected since FDR. Most voters see our fight for justice comes at the detriment of the masses, but we can and should be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. But right now we are failing at both. Weak and right versus strong and wrong. That's how voters see it. Republicans are strong and wrong, Democrats weak and right. We've lost the tenacity that the Democratic leaders of the past used to have when in the face of opposition. Harry Reid, Tip O'Neill, and even Nancy Pelosi in her heyday. We may be more intelligent, more compassionate, and morally aligned with history, but that doesn't matter if we are perceived as losers who won't fight. That perception is bleeding support, especially among young men. We were once the party of the working class. Now we're seen as elitist and out of touch. The phrase "Beyonce doesn't pay my bills" might annoy us, but it resonated across the country because people feel unheard. And let's not pretend decorum is the answer. When Representative Jasmine Crockett blasted Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was scolded, even though MTG herself constantly violates norms. We silence bold voices in our own ranks to avoid making anyone uncomfortable. Meanwhile, the other side brings chaos with no consequence. There's another way, but we have to choose it. We've seen glimpses of what's possible. The pressure we put on Republicans around the Epstein list worked. We forced Speaker Mike Johnson to recess the House for 6 weeks. That's what real pressure looks like. Let's do more of it. Make them uncomfortable. Make them earn every vote. Use the rules, use the floor, use every inch of leverage, like the GOP did when they blocked 2 of Obama's Supreme Court nominees. If democracy is really on the line, why are we afraid to act like it? We must do something. If we want people to trust us again, if we want to win again, we need to stop tweeting cleverly and start legislating boldly. We need to stop branding and start brawling politically. No more food stunts, no more clever names, no more vibes-only politics. We need to lead, we need to fight. We need to stop trying to be liked and start trying to win. Thank you for reading By the Ballot. Please remember to like and subscribe and share so that we can continue to grow our audience.